West?
Yes.
Okay.
Your name. Loud.
Stand up, get off the wall. Tell her your name. Could you hear her, Judge West?
I believe she says Ariel Robinson. Is that correct, Ms. Robinson? Yes, okay. Ms. Robinson, you've been charged with battery, family violence, and obstruction an officer. Unfortunately, there's no bond that we can set with respect to your bond here today. So I have scheduled, well, first, do you understand the charges?
No, ma'am. I was told that it was.
I'm sorry, you said no?
Can you repeat the charges?
Battery and obstructing an officer.
So I was advised that it was
I'm sorry, you said you were advised?
It was a battery and family violence.
Okay, I can read the statement of facts with respect to your the warrant affidavit if that will be helpful to you. Would you like me to read that? Keep in mind we are being recorded.
It wouldn't necessarily be helpful, but if you would like to read it.
So is that a yes? I just want to, it's important that you understand your charges of battery.
I don't.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and read it. It says that the offender intentionally caused visible harm to her mother, that's Geraldine Hill, by pushing her into the bathroom wall of the residence, causing visible cuts on the victim's left arm. The injury occurred directly from being pushed. The said offender did willfully resist putting her hand behind her back after being informed she was under arrest for battery. The said offender disregarded verbal commands. This incident occurred in Clayton County, Georgia.
So if that is falsified information, what do I do about that?
I understand that's something you can speak with your attorney about with respect to the charges. But again, you have been charged with battery and obstructing an officer. Again, do you understand the charges?
And first one to the judge.
I don't.
Okay, the battery is that you you cause visible bodily harm to your mother. That's the battery, ma'am. Again, do you understand the facts with respect to the battery charge? Do you understand the allegation, Ms. Robinson? It's just an allegation. Do you understand the allegation?
I know what battery means.
Mm-hmm. And you're more than welcome to dispute that, you know, at your trial. But again, I just want to make sure you understand the charge today. Okay. Well, I can only tell you what the definition of battery is and then read the facts to you. Okay. So there's going to be no bond set, okay, for your today. Well, you will have an opportunity to request bond at your bond hearing. So I'm going to set your bond hearing for March 10th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m.
Would that be? Oh, I'm not. And would I be able to make a phone call? I never made a phone call.
That's something you would have to check with the sheriff's office about. My only purpose here today is to read you the offenses that you've been charged with and let you know whether or not you will be, whether or not we could authorize bond for you at this point. With respect to your bond, the charges, and whether or not you dispute them, that's something you can speak with your attorney about. And then with respect to your bond amount, I mean, whether or not you will be seeking reconsideration of your bond, that's something that can be addressed at your bond hearing that I'm going to schedule for March 12th, 2020 at 8:30 a.m.
I thought it was March 10th.
You have 2 dates, okay? So the first date is for your preliminary hearing. So the preliminary hearing date, and don't worry, you'll get this in writing, but your preliminary hearing date is March 10th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. And then your bond hearing is going to be on March 12th of 2021 at 8:30 a.m. So you have 2 different hearing dates, one for your preliminary hearing, and then the second one is to determine your bond if you're eligible. And you'll get this in writing, Ms. Robinson. Okay. Also, I have an application from you for an appointment of counsel. Based on your responses, I will be approving the appointment of counsel for you. So you'll have an opportunity to speak with your new counsel about the charges as well as your bond. Do you have any questions? I'm sorry, Ms. Robinson, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, she was just asking about the phone again, so she has no more questions, Judge West.
Okay, thank you.
Come on,
Go. Ms. Robinson, go.
Ms. Robinson, come on. Come on.
Yeah, come up, stand a little closer to the TV. Spell your name.
My name is Kayla Smith.
Good afternoon, Ms. Smith. Ms. Smith, you've been charged with 1 count of none or class violation and possession of marijuana. Your bond amount is set at $2,500. Do you understand the offenses and your bond amount? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Okay. Can you make bond?
No.
You said yes, Ms. Smith? Okay. I'm going to set your preliminary hearing for March 2nd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Also, I have your application for appointment of counsel. Based on your responses, I will approve the appointment of counsel. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I was told at the magistrate that my bond was $3,000. Now I'm being told that it's $2,500. And I was wondering, because my family was supposed to make bail this morning for me to get out.
Okay.
I was wondering, did it drop, or is it still the same amount of $3,000?
I'm not so I can only go by what the information we've been provided with, and I only have 2 counts here. Like I said, one for none or class violation. That bond amount is $1,000, and then possession of marijuana, that bond amount is $1,500. So for a total of $2,500. So that's the paperwork I will be sending to the sheriff's office.
Okay, thank you so much.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Ms. Smith. Thank you.
Come on up and tell you. Ms. Smith, tell Ms. Bridges to come on.
Angela Tucker.
Good afternoon, Ms. Tucker.
Stand at that back foot. Right there.
Ms. Tucker, you've been charged with 1 count of obstructing an officer. I'm gonna set your bond amount at 2,500. Do you understand the charge as well as the bond amount?
The instructing the officer, what did I do to obstruct the officer?
Okay. So I can provide you with the statement of facts that was included in your in the arrest warrant. Would you like me to read that to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. While patrolling the area of Norman Drive at Riverdale Road, I observed a white Ram Sprinter van not displaying a license plate. I conducted a traffic stop on Riverdale Road at Shoreham Drive, parentheses, Quick Trip. I began to approach the vehicle and immediately the driver jumped into the rear of the vehicle. I did not observe who was operating the vehicle. There were 4 passengers in the vehicle at the time of the traffic stop. All 4 passengers occupants were advised of their Miranda rights. Offender and all parties involved were uncooperative and did not advise me who was operating the vehicle at the time of the traffic stop. That's the statement of facts that I have from the officer. Do you understand the obstruction and officer charge, the facts that support that? Okay. Do you understand your bond amount of 2,500?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to set your preliminary hearing for March 2nd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. I also have an application for appointment of counsel from you. Based on your responses, I will be approving your application for appointment of counsel. Do you have any questions for me, Ms. Tucker? Thank you.
Azaria Williams.
I'm sorry, give me your name again.
Azaria Williams.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Williams.
Good afternoon.
Ms. Williams, you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery. Your bond amount is 2,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you make bond?
Yes.
with regards to my order for your bond, there are special conditions. I have included a no contact with Sherick Williams. That's SHEDRICK Williams. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Who's that?
Um,
Okay, your mom. So I have a no contact order with your mom. Do you understand that?
yes.
Okay. Also, you're not to return to the premises or go to the premises located at 2705 Coral Cove. That's in Jonesboro, Georgia, 30238. Is that where you live?
Yes.
Okay. So you're not to return to those premises unless if you need to return, I'm sorry, if you need to obtain your personal belongings, then you'll need to make an appointment with the sheriff to get your belongings. And the appointment must be made within 10 days. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Also, I'm going to set your preliminary hearing for March 2nd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Williams, I have also received an application for appointment of counsel. Based on your responses, I will be approving your application. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vanessa Wright.
Good afternoon, Ms. Wright.
Afternoon.
Ms. Wright, you've been charged with 1 count of battery, family violence. Your bond is set at $5,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am. Could you read me the statement, please?
Yes. And I believe it's just to clarify, is that the statement to support the charge of battery? Is that correct? Okay. Okay, I have the incident location at 3050 Cynthia Lane, Forest Park, Georgia 30297. Do you recognize that address?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what address is that?
That's my child's father address.
Okay. It says said offender did commit the offense of battery family violence when she intentionally caused substantial physical harm, which resulted in visible body harm to Jerome Bernard. Do you know who Jerome Bernard is?
He's the child's father.
Okay. It further states that said offender became irate during a verbal argument with Jerome, approached him aggressively and kicked his left leg multiple times, which caused red visible bodily injuries. Jerome said offenders share a child together. It further states, I spoke with Jerome at his residence where the incident took place. Jerome explained to me that said offender has attempted to stab him with a knife in the past. Jerome advised that he pays child support for his son who lives with said offender. Jerome said that said offender came to his residence to drop off a mattress topper. Jerome asked said offender if he could see his son because he has been paying his dues to her. Said offender became irate and told him, you don't even take care of your son. How can you see him? Jerome then advised said offender approached him aggressively and began kicking his leg. The kicking resulted in red swelling, injuries to Jerome's left leg. I have nothing further on the statement of facts. Again, do you understand the facts to support the charge for battery, family violence?
Yes, I understand those facts.
Okay. You understand the charge?
Yes, I understand the charge.
Okay. And your bond amount of 5,000, can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, with my order for bond, there are certain special conditions. The first condition is you're to have no contact, okay, with Jerome Bernard. Do you understand that?
Ma'am.
You say yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Also, I'm going to include the 3050 Cynthia Lane. You said that's where Mr. Bernard, Jerome Bernard lives?
350.
Yeah, 350 Cynthia Lane. Okay. I'm gonna also include a provision that you not return to that location or go to those premises.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now that's not where you reside, is that correct? Okay.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Okay. Give me 1 minute. Also, let me just finish going over your special conditions of your bond. Also, you cannot violate any laws while out on bond. You understand that? You understand that, Ms. Wright? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm also going to set your preliminary hearing. Your preliminary hearing date. I'm going to schedule it for March 2nd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand your preliminary hearing date, Ms. Wright?
Yes, ma'am. Is that in court or via Zoom?
It will likely be via Zoom, but you'll get something in writing confirming the date.
Okay. Yes,
You
ma'am.
understand? Okay. Also, I have an application here for appointment of counsel.
I already have an attorney.
Okay, you do?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
She was actually supposed to be at the Zoom meeting today.
Okay.
I'm not sure what occurred. She got the wrong time, or she thought the hearing was at 8 o'clock. The first appearance was at 8 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
So
you'll have an opportunity to follow up with her after the first appearance calendar today. So again, I went ahead and signed your application just in case, but I did put on here that you're going to hire your own attorney. Okay. Do you have any other questions?
As far as the child, my mom has been communicating with the father to arrange a visitation schedule for the last 6 months. So should I not do that at this time?
I would recommend that you consult with your attorney.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other questions, Ms. Wright?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Judge West,
Yes.
are you ready for Ms. Bridges now? She's gonna be the last female.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because I did get her criminal history. Let me review it real quickly.
Okay. Come over here.
Good afternoon, Ms. Bridges. Is it Ms. Bridges?
Ma'am.
Okay. And spell your first name for me.
Bridges, talk a little louder. Okay, spell your first name.
BAJIA.
Okay. Ms. Bridges, you've been charged with 1 count of prostitution, 1 count of armed robbery, and 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. Based on your charge offenses, I cannot authorize bond for you today. Do you understand the offenses that you've been charged with,
Yes, ma'am.
as well as the no bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now I'm gonna set you'll have 2 hearing dates, Ms. Bridges. Okay. Your first hearing date will be scheduled for March 8th. Okay, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. That's for your preliminary hearing. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then your second date will be your bond hearing. And that's scheduled for March 12th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
I also have an application that you completed for appointment of counsel. Based on your responses, I will be approving your application for appointment of counsel. Do you have any questions, Ms. Bridges?
Why did they charge me with the prostitution?
Would you like me to read the statement of facts?
Yes, ma'am.
You say yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It states the accused did knowingly, willfully, and unlawfully commit the offense of prostitution when said accused performed sexual intercourse for $300. The sexual intercourse was committed between the suspect and someone by the name of Cedric Bryan, located at 2531 Hartford Drive, Ellenwood, Georgia, 30294. Do you understand? Do you recognize the name Cedric Bryant? Okay. Well, I have it here that this occurred. Let's see the date of the incident.
Listen, come on, John, move up.
On January 15, 2021, do you recall being interviewed by Clayton County Police detectives?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Based on that interview, they stated here that you advised I can read the additional facts if you would like with respect to what you told the detectives.
You can.
Okay. On January 15, 2021, Clayton County Police Detective conducted an interview with Bridges at the police headquarters, interview room number 180. Prior to the interview, Bridges was advised of Miranda warning rights, to which she acknowledged she understood by signing a Clayton County Miranda form. Bridges advised detectives that she met the victim, Cedric Bryant, on a dating website where people pay for money. Bridges stated that after she talked to the victim on the website, she agreed to go to the victim's home. Bridges advised that she and the victim hung out together and had sex for about an hour, and she was paid $300 for the sexual act.
Have sex for an hour.
I'm sorry.
Didn't have sex for an hour. I chilled with him for an hour.
I understand, but these are just the allegations. You're when you at your preliminary hearing, and then if you request a trial, you can then dispute any of the allegations that's in the warrant. You understand that? Okay. You have I believe I went ahead and approved your application for the appointment of counsel. Do you have any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, move all the way up and tell Judge your name.
Jeremiah Anderson.
Judge West, that was the last female, okay? So now we're on
Okay.
females in alphabetical order.
Okay. I'm gonna take a 2-minute break because my lights have went out in the room. Let me figure out what is going on.
Yes, ma'am, that's fine. Okay.
Deputy Knox, we're back on the record.
Okay, man, we're ready.
Okay. Sir, could you introduce yourself for me, please?
My name is Jeremiah Anderson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Anderson.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Anderson, you've been charged with eight counts of sexual exploitation of children. Based on the offenses charged, there will be no bond amount set today. Do you understand the charge offenses as well as your bond, the decision regarding your bond?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to set your preliminary hearing for March 8, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. That's for your preliminary hearing. Okay, so you have 2 hearing days. That'll be your preliminary hearing, is the first date. The second date will be for your bond hearing. Your bond hearing is scheduled for March 12, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand these dates, sir?
Can you repeat them again?
Yes, and you'll get something in writing confirming your dates. But the first date is for your preliminary hearing. That's scheduled for March 8, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then the second date is for your bond hearing. That's scheduled for March 12, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
I also have your application for appointment of counsel. Based on your responses, I will be approving your application. Do you have any questions, Mr. Anderson?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Come on, Mr. Bolton, step up and tell her your name.
My name is Kevin Buford.
Good afternoon, Mr. Buford. Mr. Buford, based on my review of the warrant, I will be denying the charges based on insufficient probable cause. Therefore, you will be released once this paperwork is processed by the sheriff's office. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Good afternoon, Judge. My name's John J. Brown.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble seeing you, Mr. Blah. Is it Blah? Blah? Yeah. Okay.
I'm a little short for a camera.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's good. That's much better. Thank you. Mr. Blah, do you pronounce it Baha?
Baha.
Baha, Mr. Baha. You've been charged with the offense of use or possession of drug-related items. Your bond amount is set at $1,500. Do you understand the offense as well as the bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you make bond?
No, ma'am, I cannot.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's gonna give me some failure periods in DeKalb County. Really mess things up for me. All I can do is beg him to give me an OR. That's basically all I can do. Because I know you know my record, you see it, and I've got some DeKalb County. They're simple traffic tickets, but I need to be. If I'm not in the court date, if I'm not in those court dates, then it's gonna really make me look bad. And,
I just want to make sure that you understand the charge. Now, I have set your preliminary hearing date. If you're unable to make bond, I have set your preliminary hearing date for March 2nd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. You understand your hearing date, sir? Also, I received your application for appointment of counsel. Based on your responses, I will be approving your application for appointment of counsel. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
No.
You said no?
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Baha.
Thank you.
Everybody go for one. Time to go to one.
Please introduce yourself.
Antonio Brown.
Good afternoon, Mr. Brown.
Afternoon.
Mr. Brown, you've been charged with 1 count of DUI alcohol, 1 count of improper lane change, and 1 count of DUI refusal. Your total bond amount is $7,000. Do you understand the offense as well as your bond amounts?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am. Can I ask a question, ma'am?
Sure.
First offense, you don't get a chance to be released on your own recognizance?
No, per the directives of the Chief Magistrate Judge Keisha Wright Hill, we're not authorized to approve OR signature bonds. You understand that?
Okay, and as far as refusal, if I didn't understand something and I didn't answer, how did I refuse?
Sir, that's something that you can speak with your attorney about. I do have your application for appointment of counsel. So that's something you can speak with your attorney about. I'm going to go ahead and set your preliminary hearing date for March 2nd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. You understand your preliminary hearing date, sir?
Yes, ma'am. What you said my bond was, ma'am?
The total bond amount is $7,000.
$7,000.
Mm-hmm.
Can I put up my own property to post bond?
That's something you would have to talk to the bonding company about. Okay, sir?
All right.
Also, let me finish, sir. Also, I'm going to approve your application for the appointment of counsel. Do you have any other questions?
No, ma'am.
So, Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Good afternoon. If you can give me your name, sir.
My name is Malik Butler. Sorry about that. Sorry, move on. Oh, I'm sorry about that. The camera was a little bit too low for me.
Mr. Butler, you've been charged with 5 counts of entering an automobile and 1 count of criminal attempt. Your total bond amount is $85,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amounts?
Yes, ma'am. I do.
Okay. Also, with your bond, in my order for bond, I am including a special provision.
Yes, ma'am.
You are not to return or go to the premises located at 269 Highway 138 Southwest Riverdale, Georgia 30274.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that?
I do.
Also, you cannot violate any other laws while on bond. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, I'm going to also set your preliminary hearing date for March 8, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Okay? That'll be your first day for your preliminary hearing. Also, you will be, you have a bond hearing that's scheduled for March 12, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that? Okay. I also have your application for appointment of counsel. Based on your responses, I will be approving your application for the appointment of counsel. Do you have any questions, Mr. Butler?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to ask, based on my previous history, as far as like not being in any kind of serious trouble, as far as my background and anything, I would like to just see if there's any possibility of getting a bond reduction or using or just using the first offender, because I haven't been in any serious kind of trouble as far as anything. Like the only thing serious I had as far as trouble in the past is probably a minor weed charge, marijuana charge, excuse me, and traffic citations as far as my car goes.
Okay, sir, I'm not authorized to reconsider your bond amounts, but did you indicate that you could or you could not make bond?
I could, depending on the percentage of it.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. I just wanted to see if there's any kind of way I could have some kind of reduction if that was possible in your blessings. Ma'am.
So, sir, again, I've read your bond amounts. The total amount is $85,000. Do you have any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Derek Couch.
Good afternoon, Mr. Couch. If you can move the camera so I can see your face.
Oh.
Or the deputy, if the deputy, thank you. Mr. Couch, you've been charged with 1 count of obstructing an officer. Your bond amount is set at $1,500. Do you understand the charge and the bond amount?
For the most part, yes.
Okay, would you like me to read the statement of facts? You said for the most part, you understand the facts, the incident that led to the charge, sir?
Not really. I mean, I just know it was obstruction. I've never been charged with it. I don't know really what it means. But
would you like me to read the statement of facts and the arrest warrant, sir?
yes, that's fine.
Okay. While patrolling the area of Norman Drive at Riverdale Road, I observed a white Ram ProMaster Sprinter van not displaying a license plate. I conducted a traffic stop on Riverdale Road at Sherham Drive, parentheses, Quick Trip. I began to approach the vehicle and immediately the driver jumped into the rear of the vehicle. I did not observe who was operating the vehicle. There were 4 passengers in the vehicle at the time of the traffic stop. All 4 passenger occupants were advised their Miranda rights. Offender and all parties involved were uncooperative and did not advise me who was operating the vehicle at the time of the traffic stop. Do you understand those facts, sir? Okay. Again, do you understand your charge or the facts that support the charge of obstructing an officer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to set your preliminary hearing date for March 2nd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. In addition, I have received your application for an appointment of counsel. Based on your responses, I will be approving your application for counsel. Do you have any other questions for me today, Mr. Couch? Thank you.
Hello, Derek Flowers.
Good afternoon, Mr. Flowers.
Good afternoon, man.
Mr. Flowers, you've been charged with one count of having an expired, a no tag, expired or invalid tag, as well as giving a false name and address and date of birth. In addition, you have a class violation. Your total bond amount is set at $3,500. Do you understand, for all three offenses, do you understand the charges as well as your bond amounts?
Okay,
I'm sorry to hear you, Mr. Flowers.
saying about, you say I'm charged with 3 offenses
Yes, sir.
and my bond amount is $3,500.
Yes, it's $500 for the tag, $1,500 for giving a false name and address, and then $1,500 for the non-class violation or class violation. So that's a total of $3,500.
But is that like you pay 15% of that?
That's something you can discuss with the bonding company, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you understand, again, your offenses and the bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
I'll be able to try when I get to I could get to make a phone call.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to set your preliminary hearing date for March 2nd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand your hearing date, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, I received your application for appointment of counsel. Based on your responses, I will be approving your application. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Flowers.
Thank you.
Fubar.
Good afternoon. He says, is Mr. Fubari?
Fubar, yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
You've been charged with possession of marijuana over an ounce. Your bond amount is set at $7,500. Do you understand the charge as well as the bond amount, sir? I didn't hear you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Yes. Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, I'm going to set your preliminary hearing date for March 10th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Also, I have your application for appointment of counsel. Based on your responses, I will be approving the appointment of counsel. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
My name is Chauncey Garvin.
Good afternoon, Mr. Garvin. Is that correct? Mr. Garvin, you've been charged with 1 count of obstructing an officer and 1 count of possession of marijuana. Your total bond amount is $4,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amounts? Yes, yes, sir, you do? Okay. Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Garvin, I'm going to set your preliminary hearing for March 2nd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. You have any questions about your hearing date, sir? For the preliminary hearing, sir, did you hear the date?
March 2nd.
Okay. 8:30 a.m. I also have your application here for appointment of counsel. Based on your responses, I will be approving your application for appointment of counsel. Do you have any questions, Mr. Garvin? No, thank you.
You're welcome.
Your name, sir?
Hey, let them out that one.
Spell your first name for me, sir.
Antonio.
Mr. Henry, you've been charged with 1 count of obstructing an officer. Your bond amount is set at $2,500. Do you understand the offense as well as the bond amount? Can you make bond, sir? You say, I didn't hear. Yes.
Yes.
Sir, I'm going to set your preliminary hearing for March 2nd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Do you have any questions about the hearing date, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Also, I received your application for appointment of counsel. Based on your responses, I will be approving your application for the appointment of counsel. Do you have any other questions, sir?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Durante Jackson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jackson.
No, ma'am.
Mr. Jackson, you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery, 1 count of criminal damage in the 2nd degree, 1 count of obstructing and hindering an emergency telephone, and 1 count of theft by taking. I have your total bond amount at $13,500. Do you understand your charges as well as the bond amounts?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond? Mr. Jackson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you make bond? Yes. Okay. Also, in my order for your bond, I'm including special conditions, sir. There will be a no contact order to stay away, which includes absolutely no direct or indirect by mail, email, pager, telephone, or third person from the person, home, or work by the individual with the name Danu Morgan, that's DANEAUMORGAN. Do you know who Miss Morgan is? Okay, who's that?
That's my wife.
Okay, you're to have no contact with her, sir. Also, in addition, you're not to return or go to the premises located at 105 Nina Court, Jonesboro, Georgia, 30238. You recognize that address, sir? What address? That's your house. So you'll need to schedule, if you need to retrieve your personal belongings, sir, you'll need to have a sheriff accompany you, and you'll need to make an appointment with the sheriff office within 10 days of your release. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And sir, I believe I gave you your preliminary hearing date as March 10th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that, sir? Okay. I also have your application for appointment of counsel. Based on your responses, I will be approving the application for appointment of counsel. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
My name is Clayton Keith.
I'm sorry, give me your name again, sir.
Clayton Keith.
You said Kemp? I'm sorry, did you say Kemp, sir?
Keith.
Last name Keith.
Keith, okay, Keith. Okay. And your first name, sir, spell it for me.
AYLAAN.
Okay. Mr. Keith, based on my review of the information, I am going to deny the charges of criminal trespass against you and loitering or prowling for insufficient probable cause. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
So you will be released once the paperwork is processed. You have any questions, sir?
No.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jermaine Kemp.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kemp.
How you doing?
Mr. Kemp, you've been charged with driving without a license. Your bond amount is set for $1,000. Do you understand the charge as well as the bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Sure I can.
You said yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In my bond order, sir, I'm also included you cannot violate any laws while out on bond. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm also going to set your preliminary hearing for March 2nd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that, sir?
Ma'am.
I have your application for appointment of counsel. Based on your responses, I will be approving your application for appointment of counsel. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Kemp?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Here's Moran.
David, if you could adjust the camera so I can see his face. Okay. Thank you. Your name, sir?
Desmond Moran.
Good afternoon, Mr. Moran.
No.
Mr. Moran, you've been charged with 1 count of trafficking marijuana, as well as 1 count of obstructing an officer. Based on your offenses charged, there will be no there will be no bond set for you today. You understand the offenses as well as the bond decision?
Yes, ma'am. When would I have a court date for my bond?
Yes, sir. I'm going to give you that. So your preliminary hearing date is going to be March 10th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. And then your hearing for your bond is going to be on March 12th, 2021 at 8:30 for your bond hearing. You understand that, sir? Okay. I also have your application for appointment of counsel. Based on your responses, I will be approving your application for appointment of counsel. Do you have any questions, sir? Thank you, Mr. Moran.
Andre Pickett.
Sorry, give me your last name again, sir.
Pinkney.
Spell that for me.
Pinckney.
Sir, you've been charged with 1 count of theft by shoplifting and 1 count of possession of marijuana. Your total bond amount is $3,500. Do you understand your offenses as well as the bond amount, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, I wanted to ask you a question. Is it okay? I'm a diabetic. My blood sugar has been very high since I've been here. So I wanted to know if I may be able to get the bond lowered just a little bit so I can get out of here, because I haven't even had any insulin here. And like I said, they tested me but never gave me insulin, and my blood sugar was 381. So I'm wondering maybe if I could get it lowered just a little bit so that I can hurry up and get out of here, because I'm high risk and I haven't been feeling well here.
Unfortunately, no, sir, I'm not, the bond amounts are set. And again, the total is $3,500. You have $2,000 for the theft by shoplifting and $1,500 for the possession of marijuana. So those are set, preset. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, also in my bond order, I'm including a provision that you must not violate any laws while on bond. You understand that? And sir, did you say you could or you could not make bond?
I can.
You can? Sir, I'm gonna set your preliminary hearing date for March 2nd, 2021. At 8:30 a.m. Also have your application for appointment of counsel. Based on your responses, I will be approving your application for appointment of counsel. Do you have any other questions, sir? Thank you.
Hello, Your Honor. Jermaine Stanley.
Afternoon, Mr. Stanley. Stanley, you've been charged with 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property and licensed driving with a suspended license. Your total bond amount is $8,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
No, ma'am. All my people have died.
Okay.
I don't have anybody. And
Go to housing unit one.
On that
Housing
particular
unit
charge,
one.
it's death by receiving. I stay with the person and I don't know, understand why would they call the police and say the car was stolen or whatever. It's just, and then my license, I was in the fatherhood program. So the Cab County is supposed to have put my license back in the statement. So it's all was a blindside. It like just blindsided me, all of it. So I wasn't even prepared or nothing money wise, no family to call to bum me out or anything.
Okay, sir. Sir, I am going to approve your application for appointment of counsel so you can discuss those circumstances with your attorney. Okay?
Is there any way I can sign my own? What is it? Sign up bond and something that I can try to get up the money, whatever, when I come back to court. And I don't have.
Like again, those are your bond amounts. You can speak with a bonding company about how what the amount, I guess, the total amount that will be paid. But again, your total bond amount is $8,500. Okay. Now, with respect to your, let me give you your preliminary hearing dates. Okay. Your preliminary hearing is going to be scheduled for March 10th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that, sir? Okay. Also in my bond order, there will be a provision that you cannot violate any laws while out on bond. You understand that? Okay. You have any other questions, Mr. Stanley? Thank you.
Okay, Judge West?
Yes.
And we got the last 5. Are you ready with Spanish interpreter for Mr. Martinez?
I'm gonna do her last. We have to call the other 4, and then I'll call for the interpreter.
Okay, so I'm gonna set up the 4. One moment, okay?
Okay.
All right.
And I'm gonna.
Okay, Judge West, we're ready with the last 4.
Okay.
Well, actually, the next 4. Mr. Martinez is gonna be the last one.
Okay. Thank you, Deputy.
You're welcome.
Okay. The first person we have, they would like to introduce themselves.
Mr. Donovan Thompson.
Oh, I thought you were gonna give them the announcement. It's okay. If
Oh
you
yeah,
just,
I'm sorry, I forgot. Those are the new group. Okay, let me do that.
they didn't get a chance to hear it.
Definitely, I can do that. I didn't realize that was the new group. Okay. Will each person raise their right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the information included in your application for court-appointed counsel, as well as any information you give to this court, is true and correct? Is that a yes? I need to hear a yes. Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Judge Tamika West. This is your first appearance before Magistrate Court of Clayton County. We are not here to try your case or take a plea. You are here for the court to inform you of the charges against you, advise you of certain rights, set bail on those offenses for which this court is authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing. But should you give up this right, anything you say during these proceedings may be used against you if this case goes to trial. Doing this and all other proceedings, you have rights. The right to the presumption of innocence until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. The right to indictment by the grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors. The right to a speedy and public trial by jury. The right to see, hear, and cross-examine witnesses who are called to testify against you. The right to compel the attendance of witnesses in your own behalf by subpoena. The right to testify and offer other evidence in your own defense, should you choose to do so. But should you choose not to do so, no presumption of your guilt may be raised. You also have the right to have an attorney represent you. At this point, we will appoint an attorney to represent you. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail pending prosecution of the case, which may be cash, commercial, or property. If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond in cash, together with applicable mandated fees, to the sheriff's office, who will hold it until your final court date, at which time the cash bond will be returned to the person who posted it. If you use a commercial bonding company approved by the sheriff, someone will have to pay the company up to 15% of the total bond as their fee for their service. This fee will not be returned. Someone may post a bond using their property if they have net equity in the property in an amount equal to 3 times the total amount of the bond. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to or around certain places. This special condition will be provided to you on a separate form. You will also be prohibited from calling or having other contact with the victim while you're in jail. Should you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you will not be entitled to another bond while awaiting trial. An additional charge of aggravated stalking, influencing witnesses, or other charge, as the law may provide, could be brought against you, for which you will be sentenced up to 10 years in prison and fined up to $20,000. For family members who will assist you in posting bond, they will be provided information of your bond amount after we have concluded the first appearance calendar today. If a family member is a victim on the warrant and there is a special condition that you are to have no contact with the family member, he or she will not be allowed to post a bond. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail. In the event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a superior court judge, and you will be informed of that date. If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set a bond. Your bond can be reconsidered after your probation officer has an opportunity to determine if they wish to file a warrant for violation of your probation, usually during your preliminary hearing. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine if there is enough evidence or probable cause to justify keeping you detained until such time as your case goes to trial. For those of you charged with misdemeanor only, you will have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Waiving your hearing will not affect your rights to post bond. In addition, you will have the right to have an attorney appointed to represent you if you qualify for one, and it does not affect your right to a jury trial. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived, and you will be mailed a notice when to appear in state court for arraignment. If you cannot make bond, you may waive your preliminary hearing and be taken before a state court judge, at which time, if you plead guilty, you will be sentenced. If you plead not guilty, a trial will be scheduled. If you choose to have a misdemeanor preliminary hearing, the hearing will be scheduled for March 2nd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. For those of you charged with felony offenses, you will not have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Your preliminary hearing will be scheduled for March 10th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Okay, I'll take the first individual, deputy.
Okay, yes, ma'am. One moment. Thompson.
Donovan Thompson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Thompson.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine.
Mr. Thompson, you've been charged with 1 count of trafficking marijuana and 1 count of identity fraud. Based on the offenses that you've been charged, I cannot set a bond for you today. Do you understand the charges as well as the no bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, as I indicated in my introduction, I will be setting your preliminary hearing for March 10th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. It'll be in courtroom 200. Also, sir, your bond hearing will be scheduled for March 12th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. You understand those 2 hearing dates, sir? I also have here, sir, your application for appointment of counsel. Based on your responses, I will approve the application for appointment of counsel. Do you have any questions? Mr. Thompson?
I'm not familiar with what that is, ma'am.
The appointment for counsel form you completed, entitling you to a public defender. Do you recall completing that, sir?
No, I don't need a public defender.
Okay, you completed. You're gonna hire your own attorney? You say yes, sir? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and sign it, and then if you choose to get your own attorney, you can do so.
Okay.
Okay, sir? Thank you.
Yeah, you just sit right here and I'm push the camera back. We just have to talk to her, okay? Okay, tell her your name.
Clayton is Whitaker.
So Whittaker,
Now, Clayton is Whitaker.
spell your first name for me, sir.
YQWAPOUS.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Whittaker. You've been charged with 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Based on the offense charged, sir, there will be no bond set today. Do you understand the offense as well as the no bond?
Well, I don't understand this thing. I got shot twice. I don't understand why I'm being charged.
Okay, sir, would you like me to read the statement of facts and the affidavit that I received? You say yes, sir? Okay. I have here that on January the 15th, 2021 at 2531 Hartford Drive, Ellenwood, the accused committed the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon against the state of Georgia, and that the said defendant did, or the said accused did make an assault upon the person of Cedric Bryant with a firearm, which when used offensively against another person is likely to result in seriously bodily harm. Do you have any questions about those that statement, sir?
I don't even.
Well, you can discuss it with your attorney. I do have an application here for an appointment of counsel. I am going to approve that appointment of counsel. Okay, sir. Also, I will be setting your preliminary hearing for March 10th, 2021 at 8:30 p.m. Okay. And then also your bond hearing will be scheduled for March 12th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m.
Thank you.
Okay, one moment.
Hey, Jeff. Come push this.
Tyler Williams. Nah, it's the camera.
I got you.
Mr. Williams?
Ma'am.
Good afternoon. Mr. Williams, you've been charged with one count of driving while without a license. Your bond amount is set at $1,000. Do you understand the charge and the bond amount?
They told me that my bond amount was $1,300.
Sir, according to the order that I have, it is your bond amount will be $1,000.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir. Also, in my order for bond, it does include a provision that you cannot violate any laws while out on bond. You understand that?
Ma'am.
Sir, I'm going to set your preliminary hearing for March 2nd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m.
Can I waive my preliminary?
You can, sir. Would you like to waive it?
Ma'am.
And then you did indicate you can make bond. Is that correct?
Ma'am.
You said yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I only got one question.
Okay, sir. Let me finish this. Also, just to clarify though, I have your application for appointment of counsel. So based on your responses, I am going to approve the appointment of counsel.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me, sir?
How do I know that my bond has been changed to $1,000?
You'll get the, I'm gonna send over the paperwork with my bond order. In the order, it would include the bond amount.
What are my people already paid for?
That's something you would have to discuss with the bonding company, so I only can give you what my order states.
All right.
Okay.
Is there any way that I can get a copy of the order that you have?
Yes, this will be sent to you. It'll be, I'm gonna forward the, when I finish the calendar, I'll submit the paperwork to the sheriff office.
Okay. And
okay.
Because I can still bond out because I waived my preliminary, right?
Yes, if you bond out, you automatically waive your preliminary hearing.
Oh, okay.
You understand that? Okay. Any other questions, sir?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Velez, right?
Good afternoon, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright, you've been charged with 1 count of driving on a suspended license and 1 count of giving false name, address, and date of birth. Your total bond amount is $3,000. Do you understand the offenses as well as the bond amounts?
Yes, ma'am.
And can you make bond, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Also in my order, sir, I'm including a condition that you cannot violate any laws while out on bond. Do you understand this condition, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Wright, would you like to waive your preliminary hearing, or would you like me to schedule it?
What exactly is that preliminary?
It's to determine probable cause, but if you bond out, it will automatically be waived. So what I can do is go ahead and set it, and then if you bond out, then it'll automatically be waived.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna set your preliminary hearing, sir, for March 2nd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Also, sir, you completed an application for appointment of counsel, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, based on your responses, I'm going to approve your appointment of counsel. Do you have any other questions, Mr. Wright?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, Judge West, when you're ready.
Yes, give me a few minutes and I'm going to get the interpreter, Deputy Knox. So we're gonna go offline for a few minutes. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so you go to the side of the hall, it's gonna be that first line over to your right. When you go down the hall, okay? So he opens the door, now go to the right of the side, this red line. When you get around this corner, right around the corner, there's a slide. That's it.
Okay, Deputy Knox, I have Jessica, who is a court certified interpreter on the phone. So if you want to bring up Mr. Is it Martinez? Sir, if you could introduce yourself.
Señor, ¿se puede presentar, por favor?
Mi nombre es Excelín Martínez.
My name is Excelín Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
Gracias, señor Martínez.
Mr. Martinez, you've been charged with 1 count of battery. The bond amount is set at $5,000.
Señor Martínez, usted está siendo acusado por un cargo de agresión con una fianza de penalidad hasta $5,000.
Do you understand the charge as well as the bond amount?
¿Usted entiende la acusación así como la cantidad de fianza?
Sí.
Yes.
Can he make bond?
¿Usted puede pagar su fianza?
Bueno, creo podría llamar, pero no sé si como no tengo, creo que es familia aquí, no que solo amistades.
I can make some phone calls to see if I can. I'm not sure. I don't have family here, just some friends.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and set Mr. Martinez preliminary hearing date for March 2nd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. And again, the preliminary hearing date again is.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, let me give him give the date and then I'll let you finish. The preliminary hearing date is March 2nd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m.
La fecha para su audiencia preliminar se va a fijar para el día 2 de marzo 2021 a las 8:30 de la mañana.
Also in my order for bond, there includes certain conditions.
En la orden de la fianza incluye ciertas condiciones.
The first condition is a no contact order to stay away, absolutely no direct or indirect contact by email, mail, pager, telephone, or third person with respect to an individual by the name of Doris Garcia.
La primera condición es la orden de no contacto. Usted no puede tener contacto ni directo ni contacto indirecto, ya sea en persona, por correo electrónico, teléfono, localizador, ni por terceras personas con el individuo George García.
Okay.
Does he know Doris Garcia?
¿Usted conoce a esta persona, George García?
Sí, es mi pareja.
Yes, he's my partner.
The second condition of the bond order is that Mr. Martinez cannot return or go to the premises located at 7234-BC A8 Terra Boulevard.
La segunda condición para su fianza es que usted no puede regresar ni ir en ningún momento al lugar localizado en el 7234-BC A8 del Terra Boulevard.
Ok. tengo una pregunta.
I do have a question, please.
Okay. The question.
En caso de cómo me contactaría yo con mis dos niños que tengo con ella.
How would I get in touch with my two children that we have in common?
He should talk to his attorney. I'm going to, well, I see he didn't complete the, we're going to go through the application for appointment of counsel to see if he qualifies. And if he does, then he can speak with his attorney about any arrangements.
Bueno, primero vamos ahorita a llenar la solicitud para la asignación de un defensor. Si es que usted califica para tener consejería legal, usted va a poder hablar con ese abogado acerca de cómo poder llegar a un arreglo.
Ok. Otra de las preguntas.
I have another question.
Okay, second question.
Porque como ellos no trabajan, el único que mantiene el hogar pues soy yo. Y en ese caso, ¿cómo haríamos?
Okay, so no one at home works, the only income is mine. So what will we have to do about that?
Okay, let me tell him I will go over the application with him as soon as I complete the bond order.
Mire, si me permite, vamos a terminar esta orden de fianza y ahorita vamos a ver la solicitud para el abogado y ya vemos eso.
Okay.
The third condition of the bond is that Mr. Martinez may schedule an appointment with the sheriff of Clayton County to accompany him to his residence or other location for which he has been excluded to retrieve his items of any undisputed personal property. This appointment must be made within 10 days of his release.
La tercera condición para su fianza es que usted, señor Martínez, tiene que programar una cita con el sheriff para que lo acompañen a la dirección a donde usted solía estar y a la que no puede regresar para poder sacar los artículos que sean de su propiedad personal, sin duda alguna.
Okay.
Lastly, Mr. Martinez cannot violate any laws while out on bond.
Por último, usted no puede violar ninguna ley mientras usted esté bajo fianza.
Okay.
As a reminder, I've set his preliminary hearing for March 2nd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m.
Le recuerdo, se ha fijado su audiencia preliminar para el día 2 de marzo a las 2021 a las 8:30 de la mañana.
Ok, en caso de que no tenga la fianza, no puedo recoger el dinero, los $5,000 que son. En caso de que no lo pueda recoger, ¿cuánto sería lo del castigo?
So in case I'm not able to gather the money to pay the bond, what would the punishment be then?
The punishment has not been determined. The hearing, that's why I gave him the preliminary hearing date. So if he cannot make bond, then his preliminary hearing date is set for March 2nd to determine if there's probable cause to hold him.
Mire, si usted no puede, no se ha determinado cuál va a ser el posible castigo a sus cargos o acusaciones. Si usted no puede pagar su fianza, tiene que esperar a la audiencia preliminar que ya se ha fijado para ver si hay causa probable para una acusación.
Does he understand?
¿Sí entiende usted eso?
Sí.
Yes.
Lastly, I would like to go through his application for appointment of counsel.
Ok, ahora sí vamos a ver la solicitud para ver si se le puede asignar consejería legal.
Okay.
First, please give me his date of birth.
¿Cuál es su fecha de nacimiento?
El 9 de febrero del 81.
February 9th, 81.
Street address, please.
Su dirección, por favor.
7234 Tara Boulevard, Jonesboro, Georgia, apartamento C8.
7234 Terrace Boulevard, apartment C8 in Georgia.
Zip code.
Código postal, por favor.
30236.
30236.
Contact number.
El número de teléfono para contactarlo.
678-558-2447.
678-558-2447.
Does Mr. Martinez have a job?
¿Usted tiene trabajo, señor Martínez?
Sí.
Yes.
How much does he earn per month?
¿Cuánto gana usted al mes?
Son 750 a la semana, ¿no? Son 1.500, 3.000, ¿no?
Perdón, ¿me puede repetir, por favor?
A la semana me pagan 750. Y pues al mes tendría que ser.
I apologize, Your Honor. He's cutting out. I'm not able to hear him very well. He says, my earnings are $750 a week, so a month it should be, and then I'm not able to hear the rest.
Okay. Based on his response, I estimate his monthly income at $3,000. Estimate, is that a good estimate?
Bueno, de acuerdo a su respuesta, el aproximado sería un ingreso de $3,000 por mes. ¿Eso le suena correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
Does he have any money in cash or that is obtainable from any other source?
¿Usted cuenta con dinero en efectivo o dinero que pueda conseguir de alguna otra fuente?
Sí, tengo un dinero ahí en el apartamento donde estaba y tengo la cantidad de... Sí, tengo dinero cash ahí.
I do have some cash at the apartment where I lived. I have the amount of, I have some cash there.
How much?
¿Cuánto tiene ahí?
No recuerdo si son 2.500 o 2.400.
I don't remember exactly, but it's between 2,500 to 2,400.
Does he own or have any interest in real estate?
¿Usted es dueño o tiene algún interés en alguna propiedad?
No.
Does he have an automobile or any other personal property?
¿Usted es dueño de algún vehículo o alguna otra propiedad personal?
Sí, tengo bueno, que el dinero que tengo ahí, que porque estaba ahorrando a comprar un carro, que compré el carro, pero no lo tengo a nombre mío, sino que una de mis amistades.
Yes, I have been saving to buy a car. I have recently bought it, but it's not on my name yet. It's on a friend's name.
Okay. Is he married or single?
¿Usted es casado o soltero?
No, soltero.
Single.
Does he have any children?
¿Usted tiene hijos?
Sí, tengo 2 con ella.
Yes, I have 2 with her.
Does he have a relative that could help defray the cost of his defense?
¿Usted tiene algún familiar que pueda ayudarle con los costos que tiene?
No, la verdad no.
No.
Has he made an effort to hire his own attorney to represent him?
¿Usted ha hecho algún esfuerzo para poder contratar a su propio abogado para que lo represente?
No, la verdad no.
No, not really.
Has he ever served in the United States military?
¿Alguna vez ha sido parte del servicio militar estadounidense?
No.
Based on Mr. Martinez's responses, I am going to approve his application for appointment of counsel.
Basándonos en las respuestas del señor Martínez, vamos a aprobar esta solicitud para que le asignen a un consejero legal.
Okay.
Ask Mr. Martinez if he has any other questions.
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta adicional en este momento?
No, la verdad.
Thank him.
Muchas gracias, señor.
No.
Judge West?
Yes, thank you, Jessica.
Thank you for using our services. Have a beautiful day.
Okay. Yes, Deputy Knox.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. The only question I had, that was the last one. The only question I had is, will we be starting tomorrow at 11?
It's probably unlikely since I'll be here by myself, but as soon as I get in and get started, I'll be coming in relatively early. I can give you a shoot out an email with an expected time frame for starting.
Okay.
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 Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.